Have you ever wondered what makes the world around us move and interact the way it does? Well, it's all down to forces. Forces are like unseen puppeteers pulling the strings behind the grand theater of our universe. They are always at work everywhere, even when we don't see them. You see, forces are the reason why apples fall from trees, why cars can brake to a stop, and why magnets attract certain metals. They're the silent architects of motion and interaction in our world. And there are several types of these unseen heroes: gravitational force, frictional force, and magnetic force, to name a few. Each of these forces has its unique role in shaping our world and our daily lives. They might be invisible to our eyes, but their effects are as real as the air we breathe. Now, you might be curious to understand these forces a bit more, so hang in there as we delve into each one of them. Ever wondered why we don't float off into space? Or why an apple falls from a tree? That's the work of gravity. Imagine gravity as an unseen hand that reaches out from every object in the universe, pulling every other object towards it. This force is so powerful that it keeps our feet firmly on the ground, stops the moon from shooting off into space, and even guides the path of a falling apple. Picture this. You're holding a ball. The moment you let go, it falls to the ground. Why? Gravity. It's the invisible force that pulls the ball towards the center of the earth. Same goes for the apple. When the apple ripens and detaches from the tree, gravity pulls it straight down. This invisible pull is constantly at work, influencing our lives in ways we often take for granted. So next time when you drop something, remember, it's the invisible pull of gravity at work. Have you noticed how it's easier to slide on a slippery floor than on a rough one? That's frictional force for you. This unseen force is constantly at work, opposing motion between two surfaces in contact. Think about it. When you're trying to slide on a smooth, polished surface, you glide with ease. That's because the frictional force is relatively low. But try moving on a rough, gravelly path. It's a lot harder, right? That's because the path's roughness increases the frictional force. Or consider the effort you need to push a heavy box across the floor. The box doesn't want to move easily because of the frictional force acting against your push. Frictional force is not just about slowing us down. It's also what allows us to walk without slipping, drive without skidding, and even hold on to objects without them slipping from our grasp. So friction might slow us down, but without it, we wouldn't be able to walk, drive, or even hold on to things. Ever played with magnets and felt them either pull together or push apart? That's magnetic force in action. This unseen force is the power that brings two magnets together or causes them to repel each other. It's a fascinating phenomenon that's not just confined to our playtime, but also finds application in our everyday life. Take, for example, the humble fridge magnet. The magnetic force allows it to cling to the metal surface of your refrigerator, holding up your shopping lists, family photos, or those precious pieces of artwork. Or think about a compass, a simple yet ingenious device that has guided explorers for centuries. The needle of a compass is essentially a magnet that aligns itself with the Earth's magnetic field, pointing us to the north. So the next time you stick a note on your fridge with a magnet, remember the amazing force at play. So we've seen that forces are all around us, making things move, stop, attract, or repel. We've plunged into the invisible pull of gravitational force, keeping us grounded and the planets orbiting. Just like the apple falling from the tree, it's an everyday force we often take for granted. Then, we've rubbed against the frictional force, the resistive force that slows us down, whether it's our hands rubbing together or a sled sliding down a snowy hill. It's a force that's always present, always working, often unnoticed. And lastly, we've been attracted and repelled by magnetic force, a force that's not just in magnets on our fridge, but also in the Earth's magnetic field protecting us from solar winds. So, in a nutshell, these forces, although invisible, shape our everyday lives in countless ways. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, there's a world of forces out there waiting for you to discover.